What is up, guys? My name is Justin, and today I'm going to be telling you how you can achieve a tuck planche extremely quickly, and if you are currently struggling to get your tuck planche, how you can kind of bridge that gap to get that skill. The tuck planche is one of the most basic planche progressions, and is the first step towards achieving harder straight arm skills such as the press handstand, the planche, and the Maltese. So here I will break down what a perfect form tuck planche looks like. You will see posterior pelvic tilt. So that is, the pelvis is tilted under and your glutes are engaged. Scapular protraction, straight locked out elbows, and hips in line with shoulders. A quick thing to note here are that even if your elbows are a little hypermobile like mine and they hyperextend a little bit, you do want to keep them locked out. This is your most stable position, so keep them locked out. The first thing that you need to focus on to get your tuck planche is the planche lean. It is so key, and I still do the planche lean to this day, and you will continue to do it even after you have your full planche. So make sure you get this down right, because you will always be doing this. So here in this planche lean, you will notice that my scapulars are protracted, my elbows are locked, and my body is completely straight. There is no arch in my lower back, and that's due to core engagement from my abs and my glutes. They're both being squeezed, and that rounds out my lower back and tucks my pelvis to create that posterior pelvic tilt. If you do not have parallettes and you are training this on the floor, hand positioning. I do not recommend you to train this with your hands forward or your hands supinated. Hands forward will put a lot of strain on your wrists, and you will eventually become limited by your wrist mobility as you progress to variations that require more lean. Hand supinated is one of the more extreme variations of planching. It requires a lot more straight arm strength, and load is taken off your wrist and placed slowly on this anterior chain here. Later on, it is a progression that you can work towards, but right now I would say focus on keeping your hands either 45 or turn towards 90 degrees. Pick a lean that you can sustain for anywhere between 8 to 12 seconds, maximum for 3 to 5 sets. If you lean too hard, what you will notice, as you can see in this clip, is that your form will compromise and you will not be able to hold it for 8 to 12 seconds, so you will not get the volume that is needed for your body to adapt and learn this skill. If you pick a lean that is too easy for you, you're not putting your body under enough stress to also be able to adapt and learn this skill. So find that sweet spot of 8 to 12 seconds, and you want to do this for 3 to 5 sets. Now the next exercise that you want to be working on are pseudo planche push-ups. Along with the planche lean, this is also another exercise that even after achieving a full planche, I still do. Make sure you also get this down right. You want to start in that planche lean like we've just worked on and go down into a push-up. What you want to focus on here is maintaining that protraction and that body line throughout the push-up. What you do not want to do is lose your protraction and retract those scapulas throughout the movement. And you also want to maintain the same lean throughout the movement. What you do not want to happen is as you go down, you start to lean forward, and as you come up, you start to lean back to make the movement easier. So make sure that angle is the same. I would recommend doing these pseudo planche push-ups I would go for 8 to 12 reps. So once again, pick a variation that you can do 8 to 12 reps in. So if it's too hard, lean a little less. And maybe in the beginning, you might not even be able to do 5 reps, so just try to work up to that, and you want to be able to do at least 3 sets of this. The way that you can structure this with your planche lean is you can either do them together on the same day and take a rest day, so you do it every other day, or you can do one arm straight arm day, which is your leans, and another arm a bent arm day, which are your pseudo planche push-ups. Now, I keep mentioning scapular protraction. What do I mean by scapular protraction? As you can see here, there is a difference between retraction and protraction. And when I am retracted, my body sinks down and I'm not creating that space between the ground and my body. And when you are tuck planching, you want that space to be able to lift your knees off the floor. And as you can see here in this tuck planche variation, where I do not have protracted scapulas in my tuck planche, you can notice the difference where I am a lot less stable. My arm angle is changing, my body is dropping. And that is because it is a less stable position for the planche. So make sure you maintain this retraction. Once you have these basics down, you can begin to mess around with going into the tuck planche position or also the crow position, the straight arm crow position or the crane position. So what this looks like is your knees are on your forearms or your elbows or your triceps, depending on your level of compression and flexibility. And you're just going to rest and lean forward and your feet will come off the ground. Now, in the beginning, your feet might not be able to come on the ground. You might fall forward a little bit, but as you work the planche lean and your pseudo planche push-ups, you will find that your feet will come off the ground eventually and you'll be able to hold this position. Once you are comfortable in this position, you can feel free to take your elbows off of your knees and work on the actual tuck planche. If you notice that you are not achieving your tuck planche, go back to the basics. Go back to the lean, strengthen your lean, strengthen your pseudo planche push-ups. These are the only two exercises you need to achieve your tuck planche quickly and effectively, I promise you. That's it for today's video. Thank you for tuning in for this quick tuck planche tutorial. I hope to come back to you with more advanced planche tutorials in the future, so stay tuned for that. Bye-bye.